NBC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Good morning, everybody. It is great to be with all of you here on this Wednesday. And today, probably the trickiest forecast of all this week as we look ahead to how Hurricane Erin might interact with a stalled frontal boundary over top of us and how that frontal boundary may produce a convergence zone for rain. So there's a lot to discuss on this Wednesday, and we are going to look at Hurricane Erin in depth here on this Beyond the Forecast. We're also going to talk about the threat of some heavy rain tonight in our region. And for many of us, that might be good news as we have not had a lot of rain this month. But for others, well, perhaps we still don't want to deal with, sump pumps running and things like that. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. And for most of us, I don't think it will. Low ceilings this morning over the city as we take a look at the capital city and the river. It is drizzling out in many spots. So we do expect off and on showers today, mainly of the light variety, but we can't say that about everywhere. Slow clearing then tomorrow. I do think tomorrow looks mainly cloudy and overcast, and then a pleasant Friday ahead. It's still looking like the best day of the week. Here are the clouds over Penn Medicine Park this morning in Lancaster. So the satellite is a bit deceiving. It does not show the clouds over top of us yet. That will change, of course, later today. But typically, when the clouds are this low, it can be a bit deceiving. We even have the satellite data going out a bit over top of us here. Notice how the clouds disappear. That's just a data problem. But you can see the rain, and that is affecting parts of Pennsylvania across the northern part, like Williamsport, that area. State College maybe getting a few showers, although that little line is dying off. But that is the front, and that is the front that's going to stall out and maybe give us an opportunity for some showers later today. Temperatures are in the 60s, the low 60s. Look at Baltimore and Philly, though. A skosh warmer there, with temperatures in the upper 60s this morning. Dew points a little higher there as well. We still have dew points in the low 60s, but I do think some of this humid air, remember, we're dealing with a hurricane and a tropical system. I do think some of this higher humidity is going to start to creep back in here later today, and it may feel a bit more on the muggy side later. So the bottom line is, for most of us today, scattered light showers. It will be more humid and a bit of an easterly flow, 78 degrees. Now, later this evening and tonight, isolated heavy rain is possible, and we're going to break down why that is. It's going to be muggy with temperatures in the 60s, and again, that east flow. So let's talk about why we expect this to be a problem forecast. We've got two big systems, right? One is this cold front here that I've labeled on the map. That front is going to stall out as it moves east. The reason it's going to stall out is because of the hurricane. So here's the front right here, all right? And that's going to push in later today with a few showers. Now, here's the hurricane. This hurricane is going to kind of go like this because as the front starts to interact with it, it's going to slow down, but eventually the front is going to be the reason why the hurricane pushes to the east and stays away from the U.S., which is good news. But look at how close the hurricane is to the Carolina coast. This is why they expect high storm surge there, in addition to perhaps some tropical storm force winds. Again, the brunt of the storm is staying away. But the question we still have is, how is this front going to interact with this big pebble in the pond? And that is a question that we're sort of still waiting on because, again, the outer bands of this storm right here, okay, are going to sort of interact with this front right here in that moisture zone. And whenever you have those two things interacting, we're going to get a convergence zone somewhere likely in here. And that means the potential for lift and for some heavy rain. So if you do have practice this evening or you're wanting to spend some time outdoors, maybe wait and see what happens. I don't think it's going to be raining everywhere this evening, but I do think there could be spots that see some heavy rain. And the question is exactly where that sets up. So let's look at precision cast, and we'll try to time this out for here. Notice, again, by this afternoon, scattered showers will be around in spots. But it's really, to me, more about late afternoon and evening because, and I'm going to take you back full screen, I want to show you, here's where this convergence zone is. And again, 20 to 50 miles either way, right? Either farther to the north or farther to the south. But notice some heavy rain in this zone and some thunderstorms perhaps. And this might sit over an area for a few hours, and that could dump some heavy rain. So that's what we want to see. Then it'll fade away overnight, and tomorrow things look stubborn. I think tomorrow is going to be very cloudy, and I think the clouds are going to be stubborn over top of us. I want to take you through our, a little bit of the model world because I want to see the latest high res guidance, and we're gonna look at this together to see really how this may play out over top of us with these heavier showers that may be expected here tonight. So let's take you through this. Again, is the HRRR model. This is a high resolution model. Comes out every hour here. It doesn't go out far enough. Let me back it up to the last hour. So stay with me here. As I said, this is live. We're doing this live, so you got to be patient with me here as I set this up. But notice how this front kind of meanders its way through, and then this evening, it tries to create the convergent zone a little south and east of us. See how it's over central New Jersey? So that's something, again, where is this zone going to set up? And right now, we don't have any good answers. But it clearly is there, right? It clearly is there in the high-res model guidance. When we look at, and we're going to go to precipitation totals here. Let's show you the latest with this now because I want to show you again, what does this mean for us as we take a look at the HRRR rain? And this does keep that zone of higher convergence to our south and east, okay? Nonetheless, I'm watching it, and I'm watching it very closely because that's really going to determine where we're at here for the afternoon and for the evening. Somebody could get heavy rain. It just depends on where that zone sets up. Clouds will be stubborn tomorrow. Eventually we clear. May not be until the evening, and that's going to set the stage for what I think will be the nicest day of the week, which is Friday. But you will notice here on our high-resolution graph model what we call precision cast. Again, notice where that zone is. Parts of Adams County, York County, Lancaster County. Okay? Some of those areas could get 1 to 2 inches of rain this evening. Now, if I erase this line, right, you just saw the HRRR. The HRRR had that zone more like here. So we just don't know where it's going to set up. I think most of us are going to get a 1/4 inch of rain or less today. But I do think there could be some areas that see 1 inch or 2 of rain. Very isolated, though. Notice it gets breezy tonight. Winds from the east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and that breeze stays around tomorrow. There is a hurricane offshore, folks. So we're not going to be talking about a very windy day, but you'll notice the breeze tomorrow because that is going to help to clear us out. So here's the tropical update for you as we focus in on air. And this thing is massive in size. I mean, it's a huge storm. It's a Category 2 right now, winds at 100 miles an hour. The pressure is sitting at 954, and it's moving now again, picking up some speed north-northwest at 13 miles an hour. Let me show you the latest here. This is a pretty cool view. Look at this. There she is. That is a massive storm. And you'll notice, again, how close these outer bands are getting to the Carolinas. So they're dealing with rough surf. They're dealing with tropical storm force winds and waves. And so it's not going to be a direct impact. But, boy, this thing is close. Now, here's the front, you'll notice, right, that we talked about up to the north and west. So when we play this out for you full screen here, you can certainly get a sense that how this system interacts with this system is going to be critical to the forecast today and why we sort of don't really know exactly yet what is going to happen in terms of rainfall amounts. My gut still says it's not going to be a big deal today for most of us, but wherever that convergence zone sets up, look out because those areas could see some heavy rain for several hours later. The path of the storm still looks to curve away from the U.S. It does not look to re-strengthen either. It should stay a Category 2 storm through the end of the week and then make its curvature away, which is going to help us get pretty nice, especially by Friday. As we look at the extended forecast here, you will notice that rainfall chances dwindle tomorrow. Friday and Saturday look dry. Friday's just going to be an awesome day. And then Sunday, a few storms are back in the forecast from another front that will push through for the second half of the weekend. Temperatures still do not look impressive. Our average high right now is 84. We will get back close to seasonable highs on the weekend. And then look at next week, staying cool, right? 70s, 80s, not bad. The humidity forecast, I do think that the humidity will go up a skosh today, and this model certainly agrees. Notice again, later today, we get a little bit more in that humid zone, right? But then the humidity drops, and I think it's going to be pretty comfortable in through the weekend. We may start to get a little more humid by Sunday. That makes sense. It's going to be ahead of a front, but notice nothing was oppressive. Nothing was tropical, which is good news. So scattered showers today, isolated heavy rain in spots this evening, and then tomorrow's just going to be stubborn. Clouds persist throughout the day with some sunshine very late. It will be a breezy day. Friday continues to look like the nicest day of the week. Sunshine, low humidity. Saturday looks nice at this point. Partly cloudy, seasonable, a high of 84. Sunday, those storms return, and then we clear out Monday, and it turns cooler and breezy to wrap up the week next week. So, again, the forecast looks good if you don't like it hot and humid, and who does? But right now, it's all about where that boundary takes us. And I may try to pull up here. Let's try to pull up one more mesoscale model to see if this thing shows it. And I'm just looking here off to the side. It doesn't really have it. And so I really am wondering exactly where this zone of convergence sets up. And we're just going to have to track it for you as we move into the afternoon and this evening. Because wherever it does, somebody could get some heavy rain out of this. Most of us likely won't. So that's the screaming message today. Erin, a Category 2 storm. It's a big one. It does not look to further strengthen. The Carolinas are going to see some rough shores here the next couple of days, but it will pull away and give us a pretty nice end to the week. So that's the latest here from Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Brett Thackara. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.